It's tough because you kind of feel like you're the only one. Everyone else, you hear stories of other people like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I want to do with my life. And I was not at that stage. I didn't know really where God was leading me towards. A lot of advisors here and other people are really, the faculty are really open to talking about exploratory majors and saying, hey, you're not the only one. There's actually a lot of people who come in to Bethel who are exploratory. So that was helpful because it's sort of like, okay, I'm not the only one here. There's a lot of other people who are experiencing the same thing, who don't know what they want to do with their lives.
I definitely found identity and community in exploring Bethel. Football was helpful. I had a big group of friends on the football team, but also because I didn't know what I wanted to do, I was going to a lot of different events, checking out business meetings, checking out different science clubs, going to a lot of different things around campus, even just fun events like Halloween. I think there was a dance and different things, but just connecting with different people that were in biology that may have been older than me, being like, hey, what do you think of this field? And they're like, well, you should meet with Dr. Paulson, she's a great advisor. Making sure that I went to different events and clubs, especially right away, just to kind of get a feel for what these different majors were about, was really helpful. And Bethel does a great job at offering lots of different options in every major for you to dive in outside of class time and get to know it a little more. I kind of had to step back a little bit and look at myself and as a person, what I liked, how I learn best, and just what I'm drawn to. In my free time, what do I want to go do? Do I want to be outside? Am I an outdoorsy person, or am I someone who loves working with computers and doing different things? And I kind of realized that by doing that, I'm like, man, I've always grown up outdoors. I love hunting, fishing, being outside, and I really always was curious about kind of natural sciences and nature, and it's just how it plays in the world. And I realized, I'm like, wow, well, that's kind of cool. I like doing that stuff in my free time. That kind of blends perfectly with the science field and being a science teacher. So I really looked at what my passions were outside of school, and if there was anything in school that lined up with those, more so than just basing on the classes. I tried to look at what I like as a whole, and then obviously the classes are going to be more detailed ways of learning about that. I would definitely say don't worry about it. It's a cool thing. Even if you end up taking a class that has nothing to do with your major later on, you get a really good chance to kind of dive into a field that you may not know something about. I took business problem solving, which not doing anything with business anymore, but it was cool just learning some of those basic business skills and different things about home mortgages and stuff that I really knew nothing about. And I look back on it, I'm like, well, I didn't need the class, but I got something out of it that could potentially be helpful in the future. So I would just say, kind of enjoy everything, take it with a grain of salt, and realize that, even if this may not be my major later on, it could be helpful information still. So definitely don't just check out of a class just because you've already decided on something different. You could still get good information from it.
So one thing I did to get a better feel for what I wanted to do was I visited the Career Center. That was really helpful. I met with Ann, and she was really great. We took a Strong's interest test, and that was really helpful to sort of narrow down what I actually would like to do, and then also gives you certain jobs within that interest that you can pursue.
When I kind of decided, so I switched from exploratory, and I decided I wanted to do pre-chiropractic. It wasn't really right for me, but I didn't know at the time, but talking with my advisor about what the future looked like and the process of other students who've gone through this, and that helped me kind of decide, okay, maybe this isn't actually what I thought it was just from my outside perspective. Now that I'm actually meeting with someone who has experience, that was helpful, as well as other students who were graduated and in that field. I reached out to a fifth-year senior who was on the football team who was going to chiropractic school just to kind of hear more about it and base my decision off that. So that was very helpful, was talking to people who had actual experience in the field. All the professors were super willing to meet up with me and just kind of discuss what it looked like coming into this field and where it was at scheduling-wise. So that was what helped me the most.
And as far as finding where God is leading you in your life and where you think He can use you, I would say, one, know that He works through all vocations, no matter how mundane it may be, or how mundane or non-ministerial it may be. There isn't an exact path that you need to take just to be in line with God's will, and I think that was my biggest struggle, was finding what is it that God exactly wants me to do. I think there's freedom in choosing, and I think as long as it's good and you can honor and glorify God through it, then it's something that He can use you through. And even if you make a decision and realize, hey, that wasn't for me, I think God can still work through that and really push you in ways that you didn't think you would be pushed before, and really find an interest in something you didn't see before. If you're trying to figure out where God is leading you and what God's will is for your life, I would say for sure be in the Word, be in prayer with God, and be in community with others. Find people, whether it's your RA, shift leader, someone at church, family members. Be in community with them, talk with them. They're going to speak truth into your life. Through that, you can really get a better sense of where God is leading you.